Hey, Bible readers, we're going to look at Genesis 32 through 34. And the question I want to answer is um, how can we get blessing in our life? Blessing is a word that could be happiness, fulfillment, fruitfulness, that feeling that everything is really, really abounding in the ways that are supposed to be, that we're really living the life that we want to live. And we've been looking at Jacob, and so far Jacob has been trying to get the blessing through all of his conniving. He's been trying to find happiness and fulfillment and really kind of be fruitful. He's trying to get riches, whatever, success through deception. He deceived his brother Esau, and then he himself was deceived by his uncle Laban. And now, after all of that deception, he's really gonna have to face the fact of the consequences of everything. And he's going to meet with his brother Esau, and he's terrified that his brother is going to inflict revenge on him because of all of his deception. But then at the end of chapter 32, one of my favorite stories in the Bible, Jacob wrestles with God. And it's a bizarre story that God would show up and that they have this wrestling match, but I think it teaches a very beautiful truth that instead of deceiving, instead of striving against the world to try to get blessing and fulfillment and fruitfulness, we need to wrestle with God in prayer. Jesus says in the New Testament, ask and it'll be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open. And that's an ongoing, lifelong seeking and asking and knocking, calling upon God for blessing. And that's what Jacob does finally. He holds on to God, asking for blessing. And once you know it, the next day when he meets with Esau, there's not the hostility there. There's forgiveness, there's reconciliation. It's a beautiful story. Unfortunately, the next story in Genesis chapter 34 is very sad. It's tragic. I think it's in here for a bigger reason to kind of foreshadow all the hostility and the wickedness that the Israelites were going to face in the future with the Canaanites. But in this story, it's about one of Jacob's daughters, Dinah, who is raped, molested by the Shechemites, and then the revenge and the hatred and the anger that her brothers take out on the Shechemites. It's a tragic story, and I think one we need to pay attention to because there are so many Dinahs among us who are suffering in silence, who have been victims of abuse. And we pray that in this world of wickedness where people try to push God out of the story, and that's what's interesting about chapter 34, God is not mentioned as if he's tried to be pushed out of the story. We need to first honor God by protecting those who are most vulnerable among us. Second, we need to let God bring people to justice using the means that he has given us, the court system and child protection, all those very important agencies. And then we need to go to God for hope and for new life. So I pray that you would find your blessing today in wrestling with God and going to God, and not through scheming or selfishness or your own methods. All right, God bless you. Keep reading. Don't give up.